Hi, everyone. Welcome. You didn't realize this, but you were invited to a super exclusive Ticket Playbook call. So we have a much smaller group than we expected today. I don't know if it's just a bad timing. Maybe it's the NFL schedule release that's throwing everyone off. I don't know, but um, we're excited to have a discussion around unique ticket plans today. We do have a guest, Mark Metz from the Columbus Blue Jackets, who will be joining us and talking a little bit about some of the unique ticket plans they do. But we'd love to have involvement from all of you on the call. Feel free to chime in. Oh, here's a former Blue Jacket coming, Sarah Scully. So we're excited to get started and just chat. So I guess maybe I'll kick it initially to you, Mark, because I know you guys have started to become really creative at the Blue Jackets with some of the different types of plans that you guys do. You do a lot of things tied into some different holidays. So can you just kind of tell the group or explain kind of some of the different packages that you guys have done? What have you landed on that really works? And are there things that you tried that you were like, whoa, this did not work?
First of all, hi Sarah, how you doing? Long time no see.
Hello. Sorry.
No, but yeah, I mean, one of our biggest successes is the our holiday pack that we do, and we offer two tickets to two games and an homage T-shirt, which is a local. It's getting to be more national, I think, as it's been growing, but a local T-shirt and uh, hats, and they make all kinds of stuff, but mostly
Yeah.
T-shirts. But it's a really high quality T-shirt, so we started packaging those together. And we've done the holiday pack for I don't know how many years, probably 10, 15 years now, but it really gained traction with the T-shirt and having different designs and unique looks and everything throughout the years, which has made it cool and refreshed every year, which is nice. So but yeah, over the years we've had a lot of success with it. We started off with literally having to box and package up signed pucks with them back in the printed ticket days, and there'd
Hmm.
be seven of us down there packaging up these things, trying to get them out for the holidays. A very stressful time, and all of our cars packed up, heading to the post office with them in the back and stuff. So it's kind of crazy, but in the digital world, now that we have digital ticketing, it's made it much easier. And we started off, I think, really when we made a shift, we started doing form stacks, and then we used account manager for a couple of years.
Hmm.
And then we got over to Spinzo and made it really nice and easy for us. And um, but really the biggest change and the biggest shift that we've seen the last couple of years, I think we started with you guys 3 years ago with the holiday pack, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And we made it so that basically it's a you're redeeming a code to claim your tickets, but how we did it and what we had traditionally done is made people pick the games up front. So even if let's say I'm buying Denise the Christmas gift, I'd have to pick the games for her, and we would do exchanges, and we'd be very,
Yeah.
accommodating for people and everything for Christmas time and everything. So um, we were nice in that way. But what we really wanted to get to was a space where the person that got the gift could redeem a code or whatever it would be to pick the games that they wanted. So the first year we did it where we had the people pick up front, and then we talked to Denise and Emmanuel and the crew here, and we came up with the flex system, and that's been a game changer.
Yeah.
So now when I buy it for somebody, I can print out for a certificate, make it a nice package for them for their Christmas gift. Present it however I want to present it. They get the link to whichever price code that the person bought for, and then the code to redeem the tickets for the four tickets for the two games, or they can do four for one game, whatever. Um,
Mhm.
we don't care as long as they redeem it.
Exactly. Exactly.
We'll get to that later, but no, but it made it extremely, extremely successful. And we literally over the last two seasons have grown at almost 1,000 tickets each year. So
Wow.
it's really gone crazy. I mean, we
So
went
what is that in
1,500 tickets.
percentage terms, Mark? Approximately like a percentage growth.
Um, do the quick math here. So the first year we did 3,500, and then the next year we did 4,800.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's
you're
pretty
talking
big.
70. well, no,
Over
28,
30%.
29%, somewhere in there. Yeah, exactly. So,
That's impressive.
and
That's
then
huge.
last year we went to 5,600, so it really went crazy. But yeah, it's been hugely successful, and that was a big. We have to attribute it to the fact that we're letting the person that received the gift, pick the game. So nothing else changed. For those
I do
first
have a
years.
question about that, and this might be more
Sure.
long-term over the coming years. But of course, it makes sense when you buy as a gift, you want the
Hmm.
recipient to be able to receive
Right.
points.
Yeah.
But I know we have a thesis, and this question is floating around the industry, just for flex plans in general down the road, a few years from now.
Hmm.
Do you think this is something that people are going to want anyway, that flexibility? In other words, at the start of a
Yes.
season, if you want to sell a 5-game flex plan, it's our thesis that no one knows the 5 games they want to go to. So
Yeah.
can this same logic be used outside of gifts for just your own flex plans, 5-game
Yeah.
plan, 10-game plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've noticed that's a really good point, and for sure. I mean, life changes, right? Like there used to be full season, half seasons, and everything, and that was basically it. And then the quarter seasons came. Then you had to pick six. Then you had to pick three. Everybody's trying to sell whatever they can sell. Because again, like I have a son. I have a girlfriend with 4 kids. We have a crazy life. Like it's nuts.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always we're going to soccer or baseball or something somewhere. But so I might have to exchange games, and we have a very lenient exchange policy. But that over time has gotten more lenient too.
Yeah.
Where it used to be pretty locked down to like fools might have been able to exchange 8 games or whatever it is. Halves were 4 and quarters were 2. Now it's like we have to make it open because we just want to keep that money in house, right? We don't want to have to,
Yeah.
or even pushing it off to next year or whatever. We have to keep it when we can keep it. So you're constantly, trying to compete for all the dollars in the city. We have the Clippers
Yeah.
across the street. We have the Crew 3 blocks down the road. Everybody's trying to fight for the same sports entertainment dollar. So, but yeah, I mean that's definitely the case. I think it's going to be more case. I mean, you used to see too where there were so many more fulls and halves, and now quarters are 3 times as many account holders as there are fulls and halves. I mean,
Wow.
it's just they don't have time. People don't have time for that or the money. The money is
Yep. Well,
obviously
the
another
key
thing.
there is flexibility of choice, right? To be
Yep,
able
Yeah.
to pick your
absolutely.
games as you go throughout the season, even if it's game
Yeah,
day, right? I mean, you might say,
right.
"Oh, we're going to go today," right? And
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Mark, for the holiday package, how did you guys come up with the 2 tickets for 2 games? Like, how did you
Mhm.
know that that 4 tickets total was the sweet spot? Did you guys try something bigger and didn't have as much success?
Well, we didn't want to cannibalize the 6 game pack. We've had those around for
Got
a
it.
long
Okay.
time, right? So we
Okay.
didn't want to really tap into. We wanted to keep those people where they were, and
Yep.
we flirted with an 8 game pack for a couple of years these last 3 or 4 years or so, and that didn't really take on because then you bump up to the 11. So you're trying to find that sweet spot, but you're trying to the 4 games or the 4 tickets to the 2 games became a size where you're not somebody that can still enjoy the hockey, still get in at a good price because we charge basically we charge group rates for them. And then not have to bump up to a 6 game plan or whatever. They can still enjoy it and get
Yeah.
into the game. So yeah. But yeah, that was a really successful program. It's growing. Like it's really become good. And I think homage, the t-shirts and having a quality gift is really something that
Yeah.
played into it too. We used
For
to do, like I
sure.
said, signed pucks. That was just so difficult to manage because you had to get them signed and then you had to facilitate what player they got and all that kind of stuff. And then we did other tchotchke things that were, not as, let's say, nice or whatever, but you try to have something that's of substance, and the t-shirt really.
so on the merch front, do you allow people to buy those outside of the plan, or do you have to buy the plan in order to get those?
Only we will allow season ticket holders to do it for a certain price. We don't sell it in the store or anything like that. That's an exclusive item. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that idea because people
Yeah, I think
like
it's
these
awesome.
exclusive items. And so you're basically saying in order to get that exclusive item, you have to get this plan.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think that strategy could be used if you ever
Mhm.
expand these plans to say 3-game plan, 5-game plan. Okay, if you want that t-shirt,
Yep.
you're gonna
Mhm.
have to get this 5-game plan. I really like
Yeah.
that bundling
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah,
You know
we
what could
we
be
hold
oh,
we hold the people to the fire too with our others, like our Star Wars night or our Margaritaville night or whatever, other things like that they do on the group side. Season ticket holders have the ability to pay for it, if they want to at an elevated rate.
mhm.
but you can't get that anywhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to buy the pack or you have to be a season ticket
That's
holder.
great.
Yeah. I think it could be interesting to, because I saw this example from the San Diego Padres. They put together a like bring your best friend, your dog, to the game, and they have actually a plan that you can buy 10 games and come with your dog, and it's in a special area. So it made me think about like, okay, that started as probably a group sales night, right? Like a theme
Yeah.
night. So like, how do you take theme nights and create like ticket plans around them? So like to the point that that homage t-shirt is really cool. Like, could you have like the ultimate fan package where, okay, the first day you're getting a t-shirt, the next you're getting a beanie hat, the next you're getting the socks, and the next you're getting the scarf, and like literally you buy 4 games, but every time you come to a game or every game is going to give you a different piece of merch. So now you're literally the ultimate Blue Jackets fan. Like, I think that could be really
Yeah,
cool
that's a
too.
really good idea. I'm gonna steal that and take it up to my directors meeting on Tuesday. Just so you
Tell
know.
Marty I want commission on all of them.
No problem. No problem.
No, but I think that that's a cool way to, it's also like, as someone that's sat in the marketing side too, it's like, what do you want as a marketer? You want people wearing your brand. Like, that's the ultimate, like, you've made it because people are proud to wear your brand. So the more you can put people in your brand, the better off you are, but then you're also selling tickets. So, I mean, I think it could be really interesting. It'd be tricky. Like, you might have to send out all the items right at the beginning when they buy the package and then let them pick the games throughout the season.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to force them into specific games, but I just think that could be a really cool.
Yeah. And then it actually brings up kind of what I wanted to talk about too with the t-shirt and fulfillment is we're not sending them out, right? They're going to Season Ticket Central and we'll order a certain number of sizes because sizing is obviously another big thing.
Yeah.
So we'll order a certain number of sizes, and if we have to get more, we can. I mean, Homage, one of the stores is down the street, kind of thing. It's on the high street here, but yeah, we make them. We make it a ticket, make it an item ticket, and then
Yeah.
that way they scan it, and we know exactly who showed up, who's picked it up, and who hasn't. So yeah, that makes it a little bit easier that way. So like with this Ultimate Fan package, you could do the same thing. We just have a redemption table somewhere, you know what I mean, outside the fan zone or something. We've done things like that before, so.
Yeah.
I like the concept of them having to go to the game to pick it up because then that guarantees attendance, instead of just giving them all the promo items up front.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
maybe
We kind of
transition
did
your
that.
4-game plan into that, or your 6-game plan.
Yeah, right. We did a little bit of that, and I've seen it with other teams too, but like I used to work for the Portland Trailblazers, and we did that with the bobblehead night. So your 6-pack was the 6-pack bobblehead night, right? And you got each 6-pack, whichever bobblehead was that night, kind of thing. So that was cool.
Love
That
it.
was very successful. Very expensive, but very successful.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Mark or any other ideas or concepts of unique things that you guys have done for ticket plans? No?
Hi,
Go ahead,
Bets.
Sarah.
Hope all's well. From our side here, we do something, I guess, a little bit similar with our holiday pack of sorts. The tricky thing in the MLS, we don't get our schedule until like a week before Christmas.
Yeah.
So what we've done here over the course of the last couple of years is 2 tickets to the first 2 games of the season. And then that comes with the item. They're kind of blindly purchasing it because they don't know what the game dates are. So we've had to facilitate some unhappy customers at the end of the day, if they're like not able to attend one of the 2 first games. But what also could potentially make it tricky is we also have dynamic pricing. So we would love to open it up to additional games, but traditionally after the first like 3 or 4 of the season, we get into dynamic pricing before group selection even gets fulfilled. So it's hard to like take, I don't know, $50 per ticket for this package and then turn around and now the ticket's going to be $75 a ticket. Do we just cut the cost or like eat the cost, or do we make it essentially like a gift card that they can put towards a match? And if they want to come to an Inter Miami match, for example, because we just had that over the weekend, they're going to have to continue to pay an arm and a leg, but that credit almost now goes towards it instead of covering the entire event. But I know like we've tried thinking of ways to target some other like holidays, right? So like if we have a holiday or a Thanksgiving type of offer, if we can still utilize some type of ticket package, even without knowing the dates, it just gets a little tough with those two components that we have to work off of. So our holiday pack is in a work in progress.
Well, I have some commentary on that. So the Charlotte FC in the MLS, they do gift cards that you could purchase in the off season, and then the gift cards are redeemable for just money, and so they could pick whichever game they want, including Inter Miami or whatever they want to pick. And those gift cards are giftable, at least on our system on Spinzo. I imagine some other tools may have similar features, but you could do that with gift carding as well. And so that way it could accommodate the dynamic price if you'd like. So that solution could work. You don't need your schedule out. And you could actually say, pay $80 and get $100 gift card for your recipient. And so yeah, that's possible.
So you guys are both segueing into the other thing I was going to talk about that you guys know we just launched was Mother's Day and Father's Day.
Yeah.
So because we don't know the schedule yet, we're offering basically two price levels. The mezzanine at $129, I think it was, and then the upper bowl at $99. And we're totally fine charging those no matter what the game is or how big the game is for any of those, because it's distressed inventory that doesn't sell anyway, really, that we're trying to push bodies into. So we have no problem with that, even if that happens to be, against Connor McDavid coming into town and that being an elevated game on a Saturday. It doesn't really matter. So we're just trying to push people into that. But basically what we're doing is we're just selling a dummy event in at those price points, and then when the schedule comes out, we'll send people the link and the codes from Spinzo to facilitate that. Well, you guys, I think it does it automatically, doesn't it? Just like the holiday pack. Yeah. So it does it automatically. We'll just keep reminding them. We send a monthly email to all the people that haven't redeemed yet, to make sure they're still aware of it and having to do it. But yeah, that's the big thing that's going to launch. And Mother's Day has tripled in the last 3 years. So we started off at like 80 tickets, and this year we're going to sell 226 of them. So that's going really well. And like I said, it's not huge numbers, but it's still something to keep us relevant in the off season and keep us top of mind, and Father's Day has kind of grown too. We did really well the first year, but kind of trailed off a little bit in 23, 24, but last year it was almost a double in tickets, and then we're hoping for an even higher number. I think our goal is to get to 250 to 300 tickets for that for Father's Day coming up. So we just launched that today, as a matter of fact. So I haven't seen how many are sold yet, but that's a good one. That's another good unique thing that we're doing too, just to try to keep top of mind. And the off season, and kind of capitalize. Hockey's still going on, so you still want to be relevant a little bit, and you still want to be, your name being mentioned or people thinking about you, I guess, while they can.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah.
Are there any of you guys that have done packages with other teams or other venues or events in your market? Because we work with a lot of NBA teams, and they'll do the NBA and the G League, and they'll sell a bundled package. Like, hey, one example is the Memphis Grizzlies sold, hey, you buy a Grizzlies ticket, you get a Hustle ticket, and they had a player that was bouncing back and forth between both teams, and so they had a reversible jersey that was Grizzlies and Hustle that they gave with the package, so it was really unique. So I'm just curious if anyone has any ideas of like partnering with other teams or your farm teams or any other, kind of just events or opportunities in market. No, there it is. I know there's other, Taylor, you guys have partnered with the Cincinnati Zoo, but I don't know if you guys have done like a zoo ticket and a Cyclones ticket, have you? No, I think so. Maybe not. So just an idea that's out there, can it be something beyond just yours? I think too, if you get, put into a situation where you have back-to-back games, can you sell those as like like a back-to-back package, or, so many hours of hockey or basketball in 24 hours or 48 hours or however you can put that together. I think that's really cool. I think, even like in baseball, selling a series, like why not just sell a series package? Hey, like you love the Red Sox, come to the Red Sox package. And even if you pay a premium for it, people will pay for it if they really want that specific game. So I think that can be really interesting as well. And I know we talked a little bit about gift carding. So you can bundle, say, hey, buy a certain number of games and get a certain dollar amount to even upgrade or buy other games later. So if you wanted to add in gift carding with plans, you can do, or vice versa. Hey, you buy a $500 gift card, you're going to get a code for for opening night. You could do that too. So there's lots of different ways with technology that's out there to make those types of unique things work and really incentivize people based on what they're buying with you.
Denise,
Yeah,
quick
I like that
question.
gift card idea.
Yeah.
Quick question on the gift cards. Is that something that like could be across different teams? So it's just like a Spinzo platform, gift card, and they could go to like, I don't know, if they purchased it on the like Blue Jackets Spinzo page, but then something else comes to town that also utilizes Spinzo, or is it segmented specifically towards the initial team that it was purchased on?
Great question.
So
Emmanuel.
it is on a client by client basis, but we do have markets where we do all the teams in market, like in Denver, we do Kroenke, so we do all those teams. So it's something we haven't activated yet to do across. When we do conglomerates like Kroenke, we do enable them to do some cross-market things. So they could create a gift card useful for Colorado Avalanche, Mammoth, Colorado Rapids, and all of their teams. But if it spans across multiple conglomerates, like 2 different ownership groups, it's something we'd have to look at. But it's a challenge we would take.
Yeah.
Someone wants it.
Sarah, are you thinking US soccer and coming into your market?
Yeah, the vast majority of what we use Spinzo when US soccer comes to town. I think last year when the women came, we had to sell out pretty quickly. So we didn't have to get super duper creative on that side. And then they're doing back-to-back years, so they're coming back here at the end of May. And I know tickets have been slowing down. I think partially the Alex Morgan not coming back and they were just here type of thing. So making notes for future and how to re-engage a lot of the Loons fans that we have here that can potentially go to something like that, and making it some type of like additional package or incentive is something that our side hasn't really done too much of for US soccer. But now that Paul and Ed have their own team, definitely brainstorming with them on like the things that we can create that we might not be able to create through like PA for normal MNUFC matches, because there's just a lot more restrictions over there. So, but yeah, quick question also for Mets, going back to the Mother's Day, Father's Day sale, is that mainly like a marketing initiative to sending that out, or is there like specific communication that's being sent out from like the BI team as well, or like on the rep level?
Yeah, it's mostly a marketing campaign. We're not like direct calling or anything. There's no like, not too much outreach. Like we just had a press release hit this morning, and we'll promote it on sites and social and stuff like that. But there's not really a whole lot of, rep involvement per se. The only time that they're kind of, in the mix of it is for redemption and things like that. We and the hook for that, I don't know if I mentioned it, but is like a $25 gift card to the team store, which seems to be pretty successful. Just to get merch on them. And we also offer different levels of it, so you can do 25, you can do 50, things like that if you called in and bought the pack. But we're not really promoting that a whole lot, other than just the marketing streams that we have.
And is that like a separate ticket that would be like scannable through, like when you actually go into the team store, or is it something that's emailed?
No, we actually
separately?
mail those out since they're a gift card, and it's on a GiveX system that only interacts with the micros. And for DNC, that has to be mailed out separately.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Any other thoughts or questions on unique ticket plans? Emmanuel, you want to jump
Well, I
in?
have a concept that I've been thinking about that I don't think anyone has done, but we'd consider doing it. For flex plans, with the concept of having the flexibility. So you buy a 5-game flex plan. Of course, you could choose your games throughout the season. But is there a concept of reversing the equation and saying, you're not going to sell a 5-game flex plan. You're going to have a link with all the games on there, and just people buy their first game, second game, third game. But then a tool like Spinzo or any other tool is keeping track of how many games people went to. And once they hit the 5th game, they get the t-shirt. And once they hit the 8th game, they get something else. So it's sort of flexible in the sense that we're keeping track of what you got. Okay, you might only come to 2 or 3 games, but hey, you're at 3. Get 2 more games before the end of the season, and we're going to throw in this gift for you.
That's
just wondering
something.
people's thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's great concept and something that Marty has been trying, not necessarily that way, but he's trying to do an ultimate flex package where, because of our games being tiered in 4 or 5 different price levels, just throwing the entire season out there. You pick as many games as you want. You can pick as many, price levels in different areas that you want, and that's your price is based on the price of that game, right?
Mhm.
So it can be 6, it can be 5, whatever. We may put a minimum of like 5 games on or something like that, or 5 tickets. But no matter what you're doing, your flex plan is not set by any means. It's not.
Yeah.
The price isn't set. The FSCs aren't set. Like, that's the only problem is that FSC calculation for those to call them
Yeah.
plans. But having this ultimate flex plan package to be able to say, okay, if I want to go to the Washington Capitals game on a Tuesday, it's $80. But if I go to the Washington Capitals game in March, on a Saturday, it's $120. It just depends, and that's what I'm going to pay.
Yeah.
But I like the idea. We did talk to a company. What is that? It's blue something. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Life Blue Turnstile.
Yep, that's it. And we talked to them a couple times, and the fee structure just didn't work out for us. But I could see us doing that as well.
Well, and I don't know all the latest features of all the systems, but I think the thesis we're playing around with is to prevent the person from having to choose all the games for an ultimate flex plan, so to speak, right? And actually, we know the folks at Turnstile Life Blue, and they're great. They have great technology with increasing incentives and whatnot. The thesis we're playing with is you don't have to choose your games up front. Just choose them as you go. And then once you hit your 5th game or 7th game or whatever incentives you want to do, or maybe it's based on revenue. Maybe it's based on once you hit a certain dollar amount of spend, you get these rewards. But that way it gives the person flexibility that maybe they're not going to hit 5 games. They think they might. So that's the thesis that we're playing with. And if we feel some teams want that, we'll build it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will. The trick comes into, like I said, calculating FSCs on that, right?
Yeah.
What does that look like? That'll become one thing we started doing, and we literally just kind of launched it in February. I think it was, maybe even the first part of March, is with our student rush program, kind of doing that and building up so that you get certain tiers and certain levels, you're gaining points, and you're getting to be able to redeem for items. It's kind of that same concept, but it's kind of growing that organically and trying to get that off the ground has been something marketing's been really trying to push with different. We have so many universities around here, like it should be something that'll take off, hopefully in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
That's something we're highly interested in. So of course, anyone who listens to this after, if they want to do fancy things like this, we'll build them that way.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing. We appreciate all your insight, and glad we were able to give you some ideas too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure.
But if anybody has any ideas for Ticket Playbook, please send them our way, and then we will have another episode or another session next month. We would love for you to join. Invite your friends. If you're watching the recap, make sure you're joining us live so you can ask questions and we can really get the discussion going. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.